Alright guys, so today we are going to begin with chapter 6 of our book Mockingbird, which is entitled The Heart. I find 32 books in the library about how the heart works. Dad talks with the librarian and says it's okay for me to use his card too, so I can check out a lot of books. Some of them are kids' books and some of them are adult books, but I can read anything because my reading score is so high that they can't even rate it. When I was in kindergarten, I was above an 8th grade level, and that was as far as you could get in kindergarten. Now I'm in 5th grade, which is why I can read anything that Dad can. Sometimes I read the same books over and over. What's great about books is that the stuff inside doesn't change. People say you can't judge a book by its cover, but that's not true because it says right on the cover what's inside. And no matter how many times you read that book, the words and the pictures do not change. You can open and close books a million times and they stay the same. They look the same, they say the same words, the charts and the pictures are the same colors. Books are not like people. Books are safe. The librarian won't let you take the physician's desk reference home even if you hide it in the middle of 32 books. She says you have to leave it in the reference section so that others might enjoy it. I don't think I should have to leave it in the reference section just so others might enjoy it because I know I will enjoy it, but she says that that's not the point. She never does tell me what the point is, but Devin says sometimes you just have to do what the teacher or the librarian says, even if you think it's stupid. Also, he says you shouldn't tell them out loud that you think it's stupid. That's a secret that stays in your head only. On the way home, Dad stops at CVS and buys me a whole bag of gummy worms. Why? I ask. Aren't these your favorite? Yes, but I don't have 10 stickers in a row yet on your manners chart. Mrs. Brooks said that you're doing an excellent job at school considering everything. She's right. I make a smiley face with my mouth, and I deserve these gummy worms because I do spend all of my time considering everything, and I just don't always get it. I eat one green gummy worm and then one red one. Their names are Eddie and Talia. I always name my gummy worms before I eat them, and when I get home, I stuff some in every pocket of my pants, so I will always have one when I need one. And then I start reading. There's a lot of information about the heart in 32 books, and I read it all. Here's what I am writing down in my word study notebook because these are words that I want to study more than eliminate and devastate. Chambers, aorta, atria, ventricles, veins, arteries, valves. I also learned that you should exercise right, like Devin, who plays soccer and baseball and runs almost every day. You should eat good foods like Devin, who doesn't eat nearly as much candy as me. And you shouldn't smoke because it can hurt your heart and it smells so bad it makes you want to throw up. Devin never throws up but even he says that. There are many heart diseases, and some of them you get from smoking and drinking and being fat and not exercising, and some of them you get from an infection. Some of them you get when you're old, some problems you're born with, most of the diseases you can do something about, like take a lot of pills. Sometimes a heart problem happens all of a sudden, and there is not much that you can do, but you should try to get to a hospital right away to increase your chances of survival. What I can't find is how long you can make a heart work once it's shot, and can the other body organs take over for it? And can a hospital keep you alive without it? And are you the same person without it? And are you a person at all? This is all I can find on that topic. A gunshot wound to the heart is almost always fatal. So what does this mean to Caitlin as she's trying to navigate and figure out this devastating loss? How is she trying to handle it? How is she trying to make sense of it? Take a second to jot that down in your notebook, and then I'm going to keep reading chapter 7 here. Chapter 7 is called Groups. So pause this video, jot down the answer to those questions, and then press play and let's keep on reading chapter 7. Mrs. Johnson finishes explaining our group project, which can be about any animal that we choose. She asks us to give her some choices and writes them on the board. I choose the heart. Her marker squeaks to a halt on the whiteboard. I see, she says, turning slowly to look at the person. Of what animal? I don't care as long as it's human. I'm really good at drawing a human heart now, and the class laughs. She sighs. I want you to write about an animal. How about a panda? I shake my head. Can't she see that I'm already drawing a heart in my notebook? Another animal? I shake my head again. Well, think about it. Maybe you'll come up with some animals that interest you. After she writes a bunch more animals on the board, she says break into groups, and everybody moves except for me. Mrs. Johnson stands up in front of my desk. Would you like help finding a group? I have a group. Who's in your group? Me. Who else? Nobody. I'm in my own group. Someone laughs. I'd like you to be in a real group. How about joining Emma and Brianna? No. More kids laugh. Mrs. Johnson narrows her eyes and mouth at them, but turns back to me. Excuse me? No, thank you. That's another sticker from my Your Manners chart. Now everyone laughs. Mrs. Johnson takes a big breath and lets it out. I want you to be part of a group. I stare at her hands. Do you understand? Yes. I understand what she wants, but I also know what I want. So will you come over and join them now? She doesn't understand. I shake my head. No. Why not? I sigh and I try to explain it so she'll get it. I know that's what you want, but that's not what I want. Hi, says Miss Brooke. You're early. I know. I told Mrs. Johnson that, but she said it was time to see you now. She's having trouble getting it today. Oh, let's talk about it. I explained the whole group project. Caitlin, when a teacher says she wants you to do something, that means that you should do it. It's the same thing as saying you have to do it. Well, why didn't she say that? I asked. Well, this is like a nice way of saying it. No, it's not. It's a confusing way of saying it. And she should just say please if she's trying to be nice. Would that have helped if she said please? Maybe. Should I share that with her? Why don't you let me talk with her instead? And why don't you want to do a group project with some of the other girls? Well, because I can do a better group project by my own self. I'm sure you can do a wonderful project, but there's value in working with a group. What's the value? Making friends. I already have friends. Tell me about your friends. Well, my dictionary, my TV, my computer. Mrs. Brooks shakes her head. I'm talking about the people. Learning how to get along with others. I know how. I leave them alone. No, not that way. But that's what they always tell me. Leave me alone. Caitlin, go away. So I'm listening. I'm doing what they ask. So I'm being nice. Mrs. Brooks' head drops down and she squeezes her hands into fists. It can be difficult, but I'm going to help you. She looks at the person. Let's think about the children in your class. I stare at the facial expressions chart. I start stuffed animaling it. Are you thinking? I already did. Who did you think of? I'm thinking of people who smile a lot. That's supposed to mean they're happy, nice, and friendly. And which people have mad faces or cry a lot because that means they're sad or mad or scared. Sometimes even happy and just feeling emotional, Mrs. Brooks says. See? That's why emotions are evil and I hate them, especially crying. I don't get it. Laughter is easier to figure out, she said. It usually shows that you're happy. Not always. Sometimes it shows that you're mean. That's true. If someone is teasing or making fun of someone, when, I tell her, not if. She sighs. I suppose it's just hard to figure out emotions from laughing, too. Now I'm thinking about Josh. Mrs. Brooke does her turtle head jerk. Oh? Do you like him? No. Let's try to pick someone you like, and we'll work on the friendship with that person. That's the first thing to think about. Oh, you didn't say that. So who do you like? I don't know. Think hard. Miss Harper. Miss Harper? Miss Harper? Yes, she's the principal. Get it? She's everyone's pal. Yes, okay, but I'm thinking of somebody your age. Who are you thinking of? No one in particular. I'd just like you to think of someone. I don't like this game. I give up, so why don't you just tell me? Well, how about Emma? Emma? Yeah, she's very outgoing. I don't like very outgoing. Or extroverted or excuse me, gregarious, or any of those words that mean their loudness fills up my ears and hurts, and their face and their waving arms invade my personal space, and their constant talking sucks all of the air out of the room until I'm gonna choke. It's easier to talk with people who are outgoing. Just think about it. This is what I'm thinking. Mrs. Brooke doesn't get it. You're a very special person, Caitlin, and I think you'll be a wonderful friend. Okay, maybe she does get it. I am the one who doesn't. She lets me look up friend in her dictionary, and it says somebody emotionally close. There's that evil word again, emotionally. That's not one of my strengths, but you can develop that strength. I look away and I suck on my sleeve. I'm not ready to develop that strength just yet. Mrs. Brooks seems to get it. She sighs and she says she'll talk with Mrs. Johnson, and maybe this time I can be in my own group, because there's a lot going on in my life right now, but soon I'll have to join the group. I don't like the word soon because you don't know when that's going to sneak up on you and turn into now. Or maybe it'll be the kind of soon that never happens, like when I asked Dad and Devin when the chest would be finished. They said soon, and that never happened. So why don't you take a second here and just jot down in your ELA notebook Caitlin's perspective. What are you learning about Caitlin's perspective here, and how she is dealing with people, how she feels with emotions, and kind of try to see the world from her eyes a little bit. Remember, that's called empathy. Write down how you're feeling empathetic with Caitlin in your journal now.